Hello, 5th grade. Several of you have emailed me saying that you're having some difficulty with using a tape measure or a ruler. Please keep in mind you can use either one. It doesn't have to be a tape measure. That's only what I had access to as of right now. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go through the equivalents, the fraction equivalents for your ruler or tape measure to help you along the way. So if you look at the top one, we start at 0 and we go all the way to 1 whole, which would be 1 inch, and then it lists everything in between. We're going to go through on the bottom one, 16ths, 8ths, 4ths, and halves. And I hope this helps some of you who've been struggling or maybe just not sure of yourself. So let's begin. If we want to name 0 inches, we could name it as 0/16. Then we have 1/16. This one would be 2/16. We have 3/16, 4/16, 5/16, 6/16, 7/16, 8/16, 9/16, 10/16, 11/16, 12/16, 13/16, 14/16, 15/16, and 16/16. Next, let's go through and identify the eighths, starting at 0. So 0 would also represent 0/8. But if we look at our ruler up here, here's where our first eighth is. So 2/16 is also 1/8. We have 4/16. This would be 2/8. 6/16 says 3/8. Then we have 8/16. That would be 4/8. Then we have 5/8, so 10/16 would be 5/8. We have 12/16, would be 6/8. 14/16, 7/8. And then 1 whole would be 8/8. Okay. Next, we're going to do quarters, and we're going to start with our 0, so that'd be 0/4 or 0/4. And if we look up here, our first quarter is right there. So we're going to write underneath 4/16 and 2/8, we're going to write 1/4. Our next quarter would be here, so this would be 2/4 or 2/4. And then we have 3/4. And we're going to rename 1 as 4/4 or 4/4. Alright, last one that we need to do are the halves. So 0 we can rename as 0/2. And if we look, our first half is right in the middle. And our last half is going to be here. This would be renamed as 2/2. I hope that this video helps. Please make sure you refer back to it as much as you need to. To me, it doesn't matter how many times you watch it. Email me with any questions that you might have after you have watched these videos.